Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. A bit of an unexpected video for you today. I'm up in Glen Coe. Wow, look at this. It's just about sunrise and I was actually making my way to a completely different location when I passed the car park at Antor and I noticed that the rising sun was starting to light the mist above the MkIII ridge. And we've got a particularly hard frost as well, so the ground is nice and white. It looks quite dramatic. So I thought I'd come along, go to my favourite waterfalls and see if we can capture a couple of images before this all disappears. I couldn't drive by this and not have a go at trying to capture it. This is absolutely beautiful. They've done a lot of work here since the last time I was here. This path that I'm on wasn't here before and they've cleared a lot of the shrub on the sides and on the other side. So if you've not been here for a while, it might be worth popping in for a visit. Well, here we are. Not as much water as I'd hoped, but still not too bad. Before the effect is completely lost, I'm going to quickly grab a shot or two. Right, I've been shooting the waterfall and the clouds on the ridge beyond. I've had to take two exposures, as you might imagine. The top of the frame where the clouds are and where the direct sunlight is hitting is very bright. The waterfalls themselves are extremely dark, so I'm taking two exposures. I'm having to be careful, as you can probably see just off here. There's a passing place sign, so I'm trying to exclude that. I'm shooting f11 100 ISO, and as I say, I'm varying the shutter speed depending on whether I'm exposing for the sky or the waterfall. But I like that. It's a nice shot to begin with. Okay, I've come a little bit further down. I'm on one of the kind of ice-covered ledges now, and what's caught my eye here, I don't know if this camera will pick this up, but this little cascade here, there is a line of water leading up to this incredible backdrop, but that line of water is also catching, I think it's reflecting the orange from the clouds. So it's almost like a little river of fire leading the eye up to that dramatic background. And then you've got the little drop off where the water pours over the lip. And I've taken a portrait orientation shot, so I've just included the top of the ridge down and then just cutting it off just as it drops. And it looks nice. We're getting something similar along here. Probably see it a bit clearer there actually, where you've got the sky reflected in the running water. The effect's actually minimised a bit now here. It's not quite as obvious as it was when I first caught it. It's now starting over there. But I like that. I think it kind of draws the eye in. It's pretty much a leading line of colour, zigzagging through the white and the almost black rocks, leading you up to this incredible it's almost a Lord of the Rings type scenery, isn't it? Wow, that is impressive. See if this looks half as good after I've done some processing to it as it looks in my mind's eye. This is going to be an absolute cracking photograph. I'll show you on the back of the camera and I'll explain how I've gone about taking it. So as you can see here, I've went a little bit wider than I did on the one where I was just focusing on the drop and the background. Now I've included this frost covered heather in the foreground and the frost covered rocks, and you just have that little hint of the waterfall dropping into this jet black chasm. I've had to take multiple exposures purely because of the huge dynamic range that we've got. So this is the longest exposure that I've taken, and it's 1/5 of a second at f11 100 ISO. I'm shooting on the 24-105mm lens, and I'm right out at 24mm. And then I've increased the shutter speed slightly till about there, which is about 1/15 of a second. And as you can see, that's darkened down the foreground quite considerably, but it's stopping the snow and the frost from burning out. The sky's still burning out at this exposure, but we're now getting some lovely detail in the mountains. And then I'm going from 1/15 to 1/30, and that is allowing me to capture the detail in the sky. Whether I need all 3 exposures, time will tell when I get back, because obviously I'm shooting in RAW, and RAW has quite a wide dynamic range, which you can usually recover details quite easily. But if not, I've got those 3 files and I can paint in details here and there where I require them. But that looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? We've completely lost that reflection thing that I was shooting here and there. So that's gone now. So while we still have a little bit of dramatic cloud on the summit of the ridge, I'm going to quickly flip over to my 70 to 300mm lens, and I'll take a few close-ups of the ridge, because that was actually my intention this morning. I didn't realise we were going to get this kind of light. My intention was to actually take some close-ups of the ridge with the early morning sun hitting it, and then I was actually going to do a video on editing. Right, this is the 70 to 300mm lens on, and what I'm doing now is I'm not even at 300mm. If I can still zoom in quite a bit more, and I'm basically just snapping off details, little individual frames, wherever the mix and the play of light and the clouds and the mist and all that are changing constantly, so I'm really just picking out details. Right, let me show you what I've done here on the back of the camera. I might have to brighten up a little bit for you to see though. I've gone into portrait orientation. I'm still shooting that gorge there with you've got snow in the gully and then you've got the mist round about catching the light. You've got a dramatic drop down. But what I'm doing is I'm underexposing it quite significantly, and that's creating an image which has got a lot of negative space, in particular down at the bottom here. And I think that really gives it a feel of, you know, kind of dropping into the abyss sort of thing. So you've got this dramatic light, you've got this beautiful cloud cover, you've got the orange glow hitting the snow and ice, and then it just falls away into blackness. And I think that it looks very, very dramatic, and that's the kind of feel that I was going for today. So yeah, I pretty much, well, I was going to say I've exhausted all the ideas, but I don't, because you could sit here for hours and shoot that because it is constantly changing. But I've taken a few shots, vertical and horizontal, just picking out little details along the ridge, and in particular the interplay with the light and this incredible mist which is forming. That is absolutely gorgeous. I've been, as I say, taking very dramatic shots. I've been underexposing by 2 stops. So it's 2 stops darker than the camera's meter system is recommending, and I'm hoping that that is going to make it look even more dramatic than it already does. Right, I've come along to the edge, the end, sorry, and this is the tree that I thought there may have been a shot of if it hadn't been for all the undergrowth round about it. And to be honest, while they have cleared a lot of the undergrowth, and you can now see the stream and those little cascades, I think the tree itself is probably still somewhat lost in amongst all the other undergrowth, which is a shame because I think that's got a bit of potential. Maybe from this angle, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? Because then you can include the base of the tree, some overhanging branches, 1, possibly even 2 little cascades. Yeah, that might work as a kind of square crop. The frost on the bark and on the branches is helping quite a bit. I'm not sure this would work in the middle of summer. Yeah, that looks like it might have a wee bit of potential actually. I moaned about it last time, so I can't not take the shot now, at least for reference. Right, I've taken that shot of the tree. Not entirely sure it worked, but it reminded me, I used to, a long time ago, I used to carry a flash gun around with me, just for situations like this, where your subject was kind of just blending with the background, but a little boost of colour would be enough to, you know, kind of make it stand out. And I stopped doing it, and I'm kind of kicking myself for stopping doing it now, because I think, see if I'd set up a little remote flash nearer the base of the tree and triggered that just as I was taking the image, I think that little burst of light would have made the tree stand out a lot more from the dark background. So I think I'm probably going to start bringing a flash gun out with me again in the future. Does anybody take a flash gun? Let me know, leave a comment if you do, I'd like to know. I found it very useful when I was doing it. I think I just stopped it because of weight and space in the camera bag. But I'm going to start again, I think. Right, I've taken as many shots there as I probably can get away with. It's just dawned on me though that a lot of the potential locations that were kind of shut off because of the undergrowth and the overgrown trees and stuff like that might now have been opened up. So I'm going to check out a spot that I think I shot from probably about 20 years ago but haven't shot since. I particularly like that little tree we've got in the foreground. We've got the problem that we always have with those road signs on the other side, but I like that, and I think if I go maybe a square crop, I will have to clone out those road signs, but a square crop with the river running pretty central but maybe veering off to the right at the top, the dramatic mountains in the background, and that other tree which you can see pretty much centre frame. I think that's a shot. Right, I'm going to have to hurry because there's been an increase in traffic going along that road to the Clackaig, so I'm going to have to be quick before the next car with headlights on comes along, but I like that. Okay, right, I've actually taken two shots here. I took the one where I was using this tree here as foreground interest, and then you had the leading line of the river leading you up to these still dramatic mountains with a waterfall and that little tree there to add a bit of depth and a bit of background interest, I guess. But then I zoomed in a bit. So I ignored that foreground tree and made the shot something like that. I've included some rocks which are just down here, the line of the river, the tree, that little green fir tree which is just sticking out because it's the only splash of colour, and then the dramatic mountains in the background as per. And I don't know, I think that might actually be a better composition, to be honest. It's a bit tighter. And because I've gone in tighter, we've lost the passing place sign. There's still another road sign down there, a little bit, which will have to be cloned out. And I might even clone out the road itself, to be brutally honest. It's amazing, isn't it? I came out fully intending to make one type of video, and I think I've made something entirely different. Shows you why you shouldn't bother making plans, right? It's amazing the difference an hour can make. We definitely have some heavy snow coming this way, I think. So that's it for another video. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give us a little thumbs up and hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, there's a link in the description below. And if you like the images from Glen Coe and you want to see more of my photographs from Glen Coe, I'll leave a link on the screen just now to one or two other Glen Coe videos. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.